Mesenteric artery. The inferior mesenteric artery supplies the distal 1/3 of the transverse colon, the descending colon, the sigmoid colon, the rectum and the upper part of the anal canal. So this is the distal 1/3 of the transverse colon, the left colic flexure. This is the descending colon, the sigmoid colon, the rectum, and the upper half of the anal canal. You can remember the parts supplied by the inferior mesenteric artery easily as comparing to the parts those are supplied by the superior mesenteric artery. Now coming to the origin of the inferior mesenteric artery. The inferior mesenteric artery arises from the front of the abdominal aorta, that is behind the third part of the duodenum at the level of L3 vertebrae, about 3 to 4 centimeters above the termination or the bifurcation of the abdominal aorta. So this is the abdominal aorta, and this is the bifurcation of the abdominal aorta into the common iliac arteries. And this mesenteric artery originates 3 to 4 centimeters above to this bifurcation and behind to the third part of duodenum at the level of the L3 vertebrae. So this is the inferior mesenteric artery. And now coming to the cords and branches. After arising from the aorta, it runs downwards and to the left side, that is behind to the peritoneum, and it crosses the termination of the left common iliac artery. This is the right common iliac artery and the left common iliac artery. So it passes left behind to the peritoneum and to cross the termination of the left common iliac artery, and then it becomes the superior rectal artery. So this is the superior rectal artery, and this inferior mesenteric artery gives off some branches, that is the left colic artery. This is the left colic. The right colic and the middle colic are the branches of the superior mesenteric artery. For a video on superior mesenteric artery, you can click on the I button. These are the sigmoidal arteries. And the third branch is the superior rectal artery, that is the continuation of the inferior mesenteric artery. These sigmoidal arteries are 2 to 3 in number. The distribution of the inferior mesenteric artery is to the hindgut, and that means it supplies all parts of the gut. Those are derived from the hindgut. The hindgut derivatives. Third, that is the left 1/3 of the transverse colon, or the distal 1/3 of the transverse colon, the descending colon, the rectum, and the upper part of the anal canal. And remember the lowest sigmoidal artery, anastomose, with the colic branch, that is the first branch of the superior rectal artery, and this anastomosis is the weak point in the marginal artery of the colon. So it is the weak point of the marginal arteries of the colon, that is the anastomosis between the lowest sigmoidal artery and with the first branch, that is the colic branch of the superior rectal artery. And this point of origin of the last sigmoidal artery from the inferior mesenteric artery is called as the critical point of Sudeck. So while ligating the inferior mesenteric artery, it should be done proximal to the Sudeck's point to avoid the ischemia and necrosis of the sigmoid colon and the rectum. So guys, this is all about the inferior mesenteric artery. If you like my video, do subscribe to my channel.